Welcome back, everyone. It's your buddy Tactical, back with part 2 of Tomahawk Shootout. This will be the medium size, anything around 15 inch to under 18 inch. So let's go through the contenders. First one up is the Smith & Wesson Tomahawk. Next one is the Condor TRT. Next, that's the Schrade Skax 3, followed by the United Cutlery M48. We'll see how that goes. The S-Wing Black Eagle, I think it's called. Then the SOG full-size Tomahawk, and then another Schrade, that's the Skax 4. So let's see how these guys stack up to. First up, I guess we'll try the SOG first. And we'll do a 10 chop test and then put them all against each other and see which one's the best. A lot of denting going on. Time for the M48. Wow, that actually did better. S-Wing's turn. Yeah. Whoa. Damn. Okay, that kind of sucked. Just as a note, I didn't, redo the edges or nothing, so these are all factory edges. I know they could all be better and you can change geometry, but this is what you're getting out the box. So, Condor's turn. A little bit better. Time for the Smith & Wesson. Now, I knew this geometry is a little wacky on this one, so let's see how this goes. Yeah. A lot of crushing going on again, damn it. Time for the Skax 4. I gotta hold this log down so it don't bounce as much. Damn. Not that good again. Last but not least, the Skax 3. That one actually did better. Yay, the results are kind of surprising. The M48 first, that's what that did. Pretty impressive. The SOG right there, pretty crappy. Next was the S-Wing, and that was this one. Not that great. Now the Condor did pretty darn good. I was surprised at that. Here's the Smith & Wesson. Not so good, actually. It's that darn geometry. I'm going to change it, but this is just stock how it is. Down here, the Skax 4 didn't do that great either, but then the Skax 3 did a lot better. So the best choppers out of these was the Skax 3, the Condor, and actually the United Cutlery. And I'd have to say, looking at each one, oh man, I hate to even friggin' say this, I'd almost have to say this frickin' thing chopped the best. Dude, that's a surprise. It was followed closely by the Condor and then the Skax 3. Now we'll see how good they do chopping with the grain, see how far they sink in. Just adjust this camera a little. There we go. Just do it like, 5 times or something. Let's see how it sinks in. Not bad. Pretty good. Whoa, bad hit. We'll do an extra just because I screwed up. It's actually sinking in pretty darn good. Damn, I hate to even say that. Time for the SOG. Another bad hit. Nice one, Tack. What the hell am I doing? Not bad. A little bit less than the M48, but it was pretty close. Now try out the old S-Wing. See how this sinks in? Yeah, it's going in okay, about the same as the SOG, almost actually a little bit more. It's funny because it does hit harder than the SOG because it's full tang, but it just, the geometry, it ain't as sharp, but it's got more mass to it. So actually a little bit better than the SOG. Condor again. Yeah, this actually hits pretty hard too. Yeah, so far, I'd have to say that's probably sinking in the best so far. Smith & Wesson's turn. And this thing is a heavy thing of steel, man. It really is. It's doing okay. It's doing a lot better chopping with the grain than against it. But just still not quite as deep as the Condor. Skax 4. Not bad. I swing that a little bit harder, but not bad. About like the M48 was, pretty close. Now for the Skax 3. This one's got some friggin' hit to it too, just because it is full tang as well. Boy, this part of the test wasn't as clear cut as the last one, but still pretty good. After reviewing the footage a little bit as well, just to help me, you know, you kind of know what the results are, but it's nice to go back and look as well. So this one chopped the best with the grain. So let's try out the spikes now. Well, since this one was doing the best so far, pretty much, let's go first with this one. Uh-oh. Well, let me just my camera a little bit. There we go. This is where I think this one is gonna fall short. It's crushing. It's just got a lot of freaking power. But the spike ain't that cute. It's not bad. This piece of wood's a little rotten. Maybe I should just spin her a little bit. But yeah, not bad. It's doing it. But it's not like great or nothing. Do the Smith & Wesson next. About the same. Maybe a hair more actually. Just a little bit more. Boy, this thing's got a lot of power though, let me tell you. It's one thing I like about this, even though it doesn't seem like it chops as good. It's just such a beast. Look how thick that thing is. It's a monster. So a little bit better than the Condor. Go with the S-Wing again. Okay. See, this thing is almost more suited towards, I don't know, maybe just breaking bricks. Putting a hole in a car door maybe. If you guys do that a lot, I'm not sure. But yeah, this tip ain't, it's doing it, but it's definitely not as good. You can see how far it's going. So far, this is the worst point so far. Skax 3. I think this is gonna go well, because I do remember this thing being kind of a badass when it comes to the spike. Oh yeah. Yeah, this thing's actually fucking burying itself. Like really good too. So far, out of the ones we just did, this spike is the best. Okay, SOG Tomahawk again. I remember this spike wasn't that great. It's okay. It's like better than the S-Wing. But that's about it. I'd have to say all the rest of the spikes were working better than this one. It still works, don't get me wrong. And if you put it in the same hole like I just did, it'll go in even deeper. But not bad. Skax 4. Yeah, that goes in better. This sinks in better than the Smith & Wesson one does. But not as good as the Skax 3 was doing. But still pretty darn good. Last but not least, the old M48. Pretty good. Not as good as the Skax 3, but pretty darn good. Probably almost better than the rest of them besides the Skax 3. That was the only one that seemed like it dug in more. Kind of buried itself. But pretty good for a piece of poo. Okay, I arranged these in order of what I thought chopped the best with the, or going against the grain, excuse me. Crappiest to best. So the S-Wing came out on bottom, followed by the SOG, then the Smith & Wesson. Skax 4 and 3, it's funny, the older one just seems to chop a little bit better. Then the Condor, and M48 just slightly edged out the Condor for chopping against the grain. Now as for chopping with the grain, pretty much the identical order, but I just switched those last two. I felt the Condor just buried itself a little bit better going with the grain than the M48 did. And as for the spike action, see I mixed them up a little bit. I feel kind of bad because those two have just stayed where they are the whole time. This is the spike department. That was the worst, followed by the SOG. The Condor wasn't that great. Smith & Wesson, Skax 4. Man, that thing kept doing stuff good. I don't even want to admit it. Damn it. But that one definitely did the best with the spike. You know, so in the end, I got to say these three performed the best. The Condor, the M48, and the Skax 3 by Schrade. Oops, sorry about that. Now, would I recommend all these? Man, see, I'm not trying to sound biased just because I've had bad luck with M48 products. But I still wouldn't recommend it just because it's not full tang. That's why. You know, if it had a wooden handle you could replace, then I would. Because then at least you can fix it. But once that thing goes, that's where the tang stops. And if that snaps, you're screwed. So I'd much rather have something full tang. Now some of these that didn't perform as well, like these, some of these I would still recommend because you can change the geometry and you can sharpen them and mess with them. Wouldn't go with that SOG at all. That thing didn't even perform that great. Now supposedly the Skax 4 is full tang, but it's supposed to be welded somewhere. So that scares me a little bit. But then you got these two that are full tang. If you're more into demolition of, like I said, cement, crap like that, that thing would still be pretty awesome. It's just you got to mess with the geometry. Would I recommend it for that? Yeah. For out in the woods, if you do have to do a little bit of chopping, no. This thing I would still recommend. Yeah, the geometry's wacky, but if you sharpen it up and change the geometry, that thing is freaking thick as hell. That thing is tough as hell, and it hits really hard. It's just not sharpened enough, and the geometry needs to be changed. But then I would recommend that. So I would recommend both of them. Anyways, and even this, I'd recommend that. But the SOG, no. The SOG, no, for the same reason. Look, you can't fix that if it breaks. You know, full tang is less likely to break. And that's why I wouldn't recommend the M48, even though it outperformed a lot of those other ones. So, man, I'm going to have to draw a winner out of this. This kind of sucks. This was the best, the second best at chopping against the grain, but the best chopping with the grain, but the worst point. This gets a little confusing, I know, I'm sorry. These two pretty much performed the same, but that one in the spike department, man, I'd have to go with either of them two, and shit, if I got to pick one out of these, man, just because that's offset, that's a hit, because it messes with my accuracy. So wow, I didn't even think I'd come to this conclusion, but I'd have to go with that Skax 3 by Schrade, and it's too bad they stopped making them. Sorry about that, guys. So there we go. That's the conclusion for the medium-sized Tomahawk shootout, which was a little bit surprising to me. I didn't think it would turn out quite that way. I kind of knew a little bit, but it's nothing like putting them side by side to see the real deal. So hopefully that helped out a couple people if you're looking for a medium size. I know there's a ton more out there. I just can't afford to buy every one. If you want to buy it for me, totally cool. High five. Thanks for stopping by, checking out this quick vid, and until the next time we meet.